Part 164. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1631. In the beginning, the 203rd Bronze Legion of the Dark Temple only had its head killed, and it still maintained a certain combat power. Now, even the bronze level inspectorate has been obliterated, and the flagship has been completely taken down. Naturally, they have no fighting spirit and start to retreat. Panic like a bereaved dog. The army was defeated like a mountain, and at this moment, the flying warships were running at full speed and galloping directly into the distance. Although the major legions under Fang Fan tried their best to intercept them, their strength was limited, and it was estimated that only a part of them could be intercepted in the end. The battle is coming to an end. Fang Fan's supervisor, Mo Sang, led the 3rd Black Iron Legion to help. Just as Fang Fan was standing on the 3-star Sanctuary-class small flying battleship, a group of troops suddenly rushed over from a distance, about 100,000 people, and it was a full-staffed Black Iron-class army configuration. 308 Bronze Legion, 3rd Black Iron Legion. There are still reinforcements. Fang Fan squinted his eyes and looked at the armed forces of the 3rd Black Iron Legion. It was obvious that they were already ready for battle, and they were stationed some distance away from Fang Fan's place. In addition, it would take time to assemble the army. So they should be ready to fight from the beginning. According to Fang Fan's original estimate, it was impossible for the 308th Bronze Legion to send a reinforcement. The head of the Mozang Black Iron Army. Your assistance is welcome. Hurry up and send your soldiers to intercept more flying warships. Fang Fan ordered directly. Follow your orders, Master Supervisor. Mo Sang nodded quickly, and then ordered the whole army to attack. I thought the situation here was stalemate. I was afraid that it would be too late to help the supervisor. Who would have thought it would be this scene? Master Inspector, the enemy really came with a full Bronze Legion. Mozang, the head of the 308th Bronze Legion's 3rd Black Iron Legion, took a deep breath, with an expression of disbelief on his face. You can open your eyes and see how many soldiers of the Dark Camp are fleeing at this moment. Also, you should know this flagship, right? Fang Fan smiled and said calmly. Mo Sang was stunned for a moment, then looked around, and was completely amazed. This is the flagship of the 203rd Bronze Legion of the Ghost Legion under the Temple of Darkness. Our 308th Bronze Legion is their old opponent. I didn't expect that this time it would be taken over by the Overseer. The supervisor is really a god. It seems that my rush to help this time is meaningless. It's a joke for the supervisor. Mo Sang sighed and said that at this moment he felt a sense of discouragement. He originally planned to come to rescue him in an all-round way and prepare for a bloody battle to the end, but only after he came did he realize that the battle had come to an end. Otherwise, his Black Iron Legion would have to be cleaned up. The battlefield will do. It's like hitting the cotton with a clenched fist, the softness is so real. Who said your rush to help is meaningless? The existence of your 3rd Black Iron Legion can at least allow me to capture 100,000 more prisoners and more than a dozen flying warships. I'll give you credit when I go back. Fang Fan looked at Mo Sang with a smile, and at the same time, a trace of doubt appeared on his face. But I have a question, and I ask the head of the Mozambique Black Iron Army to answer it truthfully. Fang Fan said solemnly. Master Supervisor, just say it, Mozang will know everything. Mo Sang suddenly puffed up his chest with a serious face. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1632. Did you come out alone? Or did you come out against the military order? Fang Fan asked directly. In this matter, ink marks are useless. Now he needs to determine whether the commander of the 3rd Black Iron Legion under the 308th Bronze Legion came to the aid of the 308th Bronze Legion headquarters, or his own wishes. Relatively speaking, this is very important. Representing Fang Fan then dealt with the relevant means and measures of the 308 Bronze Legion. This. Mo Sang had a complex look on his face. It was really difficult to answer this question. Tell me the truth. This is an order. Don't worry, from now on, there will be countless battles waiting for you. You will fully realize the glory of being a soldier. Fang Fan narrowed his eyes, and while talking, the expression on his face became more and more solemn. With a big stick in one hand and candy in the other, these are relatively equal means. Master Overseer, yes, I led the army to go. The head of the Bronze Legion strictly ordered us not to come to your rescue. Mo Sang lowered his head and sighed. Fang Fan nodded secretly. If this is the case, then it is more normal. If Hot Spring, the commander of the 308 Bronze Legion, suddenly changed his gender, Fang Fan would still be a little uncomfortable. If this is the case, no matter what he does next, he will not have any psychological burden. Why did you come here? Aren't you afraid that the head of the Hot Spring Bronze Legion will punish you? You have to know that after this behavior, you have no way to turn back. Looking back may be a dead end. It is impossible for the Hot Springs to reuse you in the future, and other Black Iron Army captains and even supervisors will follow closely to exclude you. Fang Fan squinted his eyes, looked at Mo Sang very indifferently, and asked deeply. I am a soldier. When foreign enemies invade, it is our duty to help our allies. We are the army of light. All existences of darkness should be obliterated. It's just that the bright army I came into contact with seems to have changed. Mo Sang, head of the 3rd Black Iron Legion of the 308 Bronze Legion, murmured to himself, with a sudden look of unconfidence on his face. While talking, he couldn't help clenching his teeth. Fang Fan sighed softly. He could only say that this Mo Sang is a real soldier. Follow me in the future. When I am the commander of the army under my command, I will give you back a light. The corner of Fang Fan's mouth raised slightly. He patted Mo Zhang's shoulder suddenly, and then said with a smile on his face, such thoughts swirled in his mind, and everything became real. Can I? Mo Zhang's eyes lit up, but he was still somewhat unconfident. In fact, after seeing Fang Fan leading an elite army of tens of thousands of Imperial Masters to defeat a full-staffed Bronze Legion in the Dark Camp, Mo Sang was completely in admiration. It's just that there is some hesitation in my heart at this moment. Moreover, he rushed out from the 308th Bronze Legion without hesitation and led the army. To some extent, he had disobeyed the military order of the head of the Hot Spring Bronze Legion, and he was already the existence that the entire 308th Bronze Legion wanted to execute. Now he has no choice but to cling to Fang Fan. If you still have doubts about yourself, then you are not qualified to wear this battle armor. Fang Fan said indifferently, the opportunity has been given to him. As for whether he can seize it, it depends on Mo Zhang's choice. Master Inspector, I would like to follow you. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1633. Mo Zhang knelt down on one knee, with earnest expressions in his eyes. While talking, his eyes flickered with light, and the smiles on the corners of his mouth became more and more with the thought soaring. Very good. You made the right choice. The corner of Fang Fan's mouth raised slightly, and he attracted Mo Sang, which was equivalent to bringing in the 100,000 elite soldiers of the Emperor's realm under his command. This deal is not too good. At this moment, the entire battle situation has gradually stabilized. My lord, kill more than 137,000 enemy troops and capture 370,000 enemy troops. In addition, hundreds of thousands of pieces of Imperial armor and weapons of various standards were seized. 31 Quasi-Holy class large flying warships, 3 1-star Sanctuary class small flying warships, and 1 3-star Sanctuary class small flying warships were seized. Besides, nearly 1 billion divine crystals and more than 10,000 star cores exploded. There are countless cards of all kinds. Among them, there are more than 100 quasi-holy level cards and 7 holy level cards. Galen stepped forward and reported the relevant gains. Relatively speaking, this wave of gains is still very large. The beheaded and captured enemy troops are almost 500,000, which means that almost half of the full army of this Dark Temple has been eaten. In addition to the injured and accidental losses that were not counted, the full army of this Dark Temple is basically in a state of first-level disability. Send a small flying warship and 10 large flying warships to the Black Iron Legion, head of the Mozang Legion. Fang Fan narrowed his eyes secretly, and then said very calmly. This is not appropriate. Master Inspector, I deserve it. I didn't do anything, I just came here to clean up the battlefield. I can't accept this. Mo Sang's face was reddish, and he shook his head one after another, with a more or less frightened look on his face. This is what you deserve. Without you, it would be impossible to seize so many spoils in the future. What should be accepted, don't refuse. Remember, you are the commander of my army. The stronger you become, the more confident I will be. Fang Fan smiled slightly, then patted Mo Sang on the shoulder, and said very sincerely. Yes. Thank you, Lord Supervisor, for the reward. Mo Sang Wan will die. Mo Sang took a deep breath, with a determined look on his face. While talking, his eyes became more and more earnest. Such thoughts were churning in his mind, and the excited look on his face was self-evident. A small flying warship plus 10 large flying warships, this is already the standard configuration of a Black Iron class army. Mo Sang was moved by Fang Fan's generosity in his heart, and a determined look gradually appeared on his face. Absolutely cannot live up to the expectations of the supervisor. Fang Fan nodded secretly, then looked at a series of cards in his hand. The more than 100 quasi-holy cards and 7 holy cards delivered by Galen are indispensable strategic resources. When Fang Fan beheaded the head of the Bronze Legion and a group of Saint Domain powerhouses, he also seized several quasi-saint and saint-level cards. Take them together and glance at each of them. Most of the quasi-holy level cards are quasi-holy level promotion cards, food cards, and blank cards. The holy level cards are also similar. However, there are a few cards that are really unusual. Fang Fan secretly narrowed his eyes, and then began to explore carefully. For now, the value and significance of the cherished quasi-holy cards and holy cards are great. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1634. Quasi-Holy Weapon Card. After opening, you will get a Quasi-Holy Weapon. Quasi-Holy Level Barrier Card. After opening, you will get a barrier shield that can resist attacks below the pinnacle Quasi-Holy level. Quasi-Holy Pet Experience Card. It can be used to upgrade the pet. Note, the level of the pet cannot be lower than the 10-star Emperor realm. Quasi-Holy Legion Experience Card. After using it, you can get a lot of Legion experience, which can improve the level of one or more legions. Fang Fan cleaned up the quasi-holy cards first, and gradually showed a look of astonishment on his face. It's getting more and more interesting. There are 2 quasi-holy battle pet experience cards, which can just be assigned to the Dark Knight Kirin and the Divine Beast Kunpeng. Among the 4 divine pets under his command, the Little Golden Dragon and the Hell 3-headed Dog have all been promoted to the low-level quasi-sacred realm, that is, Enyeki and the Divine Beast Kunpeng are still at the 10-star Emperor level. As for this Quasi-Holy Legion experience card, I got a similar one before, but it was a Holy Level Legion experience card, which directly raised the low-level Quasi-Holy Level Blood Shuro Legion to a 1-star Sanctuary level. Fang Fan narrowed his eyes secretly, thinking to himself that the smiles on his face inexplicably increased. There are also 2 Quasi-Holy Legion experience cards. You can choose a legion to experiment with later. Fang Fan thought to himself, and then turned his gaze to the few treasured holy cards in his hand. After throwing away the related holy food cards, holy blank cards, etc., there are still 3 holy cards left. Low-level Saint-level War Slave card. After using it, you can directly make a strong man below the 5-star Sanctuary level become your War Slave. Note, those who become War Slaves must surrender their will. Sacred Puppet Summoning card. After opening it, a sacred puppet will be summoned immediately, and the star core must be provided as energy to activate the sacred puppet. Holy Battle Pet Experience card. After using the Battle Pet, you will gain a lot of experience. 3 holy cards, each different. But the effect is amazing. Fang Fan had previously auctioned a low-level Saint-level War Slave card from the auction system and spent tens of thousands of star cores. It is of great significance to be able to subdue a strong man in the Sanctuary below the 5-star level at a critical moment. The Holy Level Puppet Summoning card has a different meaning. Summon a holy puppet to be controlled by you. The benefits of having an extra Sanctuary force are self-evident. The other thing is this Holy Battle Pet Experience card. Fang Fan narrowed his eyes secretly. It's time for his pets to be promoted on a large scale. In addition to the previous 2 Quasi-Holy Pet Experience cards, it can be manipulated a wave. My lord, what should we do now? Hao Yun glanced at Fang Fan subconsciously, seeing that Fang Fan had been groaning all the time, with a smile still on the corner of his mouth. He suddenly felt a little weird, and then stepped forward to ask. Action. Bring all the trophies, let's go back to Xingyu Island and head towards the core area of Xingyu Island. The corners of Fang Fan's mouth were slightly raised, and there was a sharp light in his eyes. My lord, what are you going to do? The core area of Xingyu Island is the base of the 308th Bronze Legion. Our base is in the east of Xingyu Island. Hao Yun was stunned for a moment, and now he seemed more and more confused. Stupid boy, your lord is going to settle the score after the fall. Tisk tisk tisk. 308 Bronze Legion is probably going to have some bad luck. Bai Piao popped up from the side, and said gloatingly. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1635. Fang Fan glanced at Bai Piao. Although this guy is a little unreliable, but he can accurately hit his mind every time, which is also a kind of mysterious ability. Let's go back and have a look. The head of the Hot Spring Bronze Legion has never shown his face. I have to go back and tell him about the current situation. The corners of Fang Fan's mouth raised silently, and there was a gleam in his eyes. Xingyu Island, the core area, the central military tent. Master Bronze Legion Commander, the enemy army has been routed, and the enemy Bronze Legion Commander and Bronze Supervisor have been beheaded by Fang Fan's supervisor. The enemy army has been defeated. In addition, the head of the Mozambique Black Iron Army has led the army to help. The messenger told the relevant situation very sincerely. What did you say? The enemy army is defeated. How is this possible? Didn't the Dark Camp come to a full Bronze Legion? A whole million troops, how could it fail? How could there be an accident? Asshole! Are you lying about military information? Tell me. Are you a spy sent by that kid? 308. The head of the first Bronze Legion, the Bronze Legion, roared wildly, and continued to act out his irritable temper. While yelling, the messenger was picked up from the ground, threateningly. Crazy, Crazy Lion Black Iron Legion Master, I didn't lie, it's true. Now they are cleaning the battlefield. Fang Fan's inspector has a very strong colorful dragon. It is the leader of the Bronze Legion of the Dark faction that the colorful dragon acted as the main force to kill. Cough, 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 cough. The messenger's face flushed red, and while he was yelling, his body trembled unnaturally, his eyes flickered with fear. Such thoughts were churning in his mind, and they had completely exploded. Asshole. No. Impossible. You are lying. Yes. You are lying. He can't be that strong, impossible. I tore you. Click. 308. The head of the First Legion of the Bronze Legion, Guangxi, yelled, and then with both hands, directly tore the messenger into two halves, blood and flesh flying, looking extremely hideous and terrifying. Crazy Lion. You are rude. Wenquan, the head of the 308 Bronze Legion, frowned, and roared angrily, tearing up the messenger in front of him. Did he still pay attention to him as the head of the Bronze Legion? Master Hot Spring Legion, the wild lion is rude. It's just what should I do now? Who would know that Fang Fan is so strong? This time we didn't choose to help him. If he settles the score after the autumn, phew, too difficult. 308. Guangxi, the head of the First Legion of the Bronze Legion, trembled slightly. His face could not help but show a look of fear. Why are you panicking? So what if he settles accounts after autumn? I am the commander of the 308th Bronze Legion. He is nothing more than a supervisor, and all military operations should be under my command. Without my permission, he dare not do anything to you. Coward. Wenquan, the head of the 308 Bronze Legion, let out a cold snort, and then caught a glimpse of the wild lion's panicked face, and immediately lost his temper. It is the greatest shame to be timid before fighting. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1636. Master Hot Spring Legion, I am also in a hurry to get angry, please punish me. You are right. You are the biggest among the 308 Bronze Legion. No matter how strong that Fang Fan is, he is still not enough in front of you. Wild Lion nodded again and again, with a flattering look. Humph. Don't think too much about it. That Fang Fan said before that Saint Dongguo gave him some things before leaving. Although it is impossible to verify the authenticity of his words, if he really has contact with Dongguo Saint, once today's incident is reported, our 308th Bronze Legion will not be immune to punishment. Wenquan, the head of the 308 Bronze Legion, sighed softly, and the expression of helplessness on his face was very real. Master Legion, when have we not sent reinforcements? We have already sent reinforcements. Xianan, the inspector of the First Legion of the 308 Bronze Legion, suddenly had a bright eye and a smile appeared on his face. Inspector Xianan means. Hot Spring was stunned for a moment, not quite understanding what this guy meant. Master Hot Spring Legion, hasn't that Mozang Black Iron Legion leader already led the 3rd Black Iron Legion to help? Since he has already rushed to help, then we are not helpless. Even if Fang Fan has the ability to reach the sky, he can't open his eyes and talk nonsense. Xianan, inspector of the 1st Legion of the 308 Bronze Legion, said, the smiles on his face became more and more, and the thoughts at this moment gradually became real. It is true. I didn't expect this guy who doesn't fit in to find some reasons for us. Interesting. But this Mozang can no longer be used in the future, this guy is rebellious. Relying on the fact that I come from a military family, I ignored my orders. It's just hateful. Wenquin, the head of the 308 Bronze Legion, spoke with a stern look in his eyes. No leader would like a disobedient subordinate, even if this disobedient subordinate upholds justice. 10 minutes later, Fang Fan led his army to the core area of Xingyu Island. It's so lively. Is everyone so free? They can still sit together drinking and chatting. Really, how elegant. Fang Fan strode into the central military tent with a smile on his lips. When it's time to join in the show, you must not be ambiguous, you should be fooled, you still have to fool, this is the main premise. Fang Fan squinted his eyes, and there were gleams of light in his eyes. He scanned around the military tent, and the coldness in his eyes was even worse. Oh, it turned out to be Fang Fan's supervisor. I heard that Fang Fan's supervisor just won a big victory. Congratulations. Hey, I originally wanted to gather the entire Bronze Legion to rush to the rescue, but I didn't expect that your battle would be over as soon as the 3rd Black Iron Legion was dispatched. I was caught off guard. Fang Fan's inspector is too fast, it really is a talented person from generation to generation. Fang Fan's inspector is really talented. Wenquin, the head of the 308 Bronze Legion, suddenly showed a smile, and let go of his battle as a smiling tiger. Hee, is that so? Has the head of the Hot Spring Army really issued an order to rush to the rescue? And is he sure that the order to rush to the rescue has been received by all the heads of the Black Iron Army? The corner of Fang Fan's mouth raised slightly, and the sarcasm on his face became more intense. Wenquin continued to laugh after hearing the words, of course, it's just because Fang Fan's inspector is too fast, so. This is not important, as long as the head of the Hot Spring Legion has indeed issued such an order and it is confirmed that it has been received by the Black Iron Legion. Fang Fan smiled and suddenly became gentle. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1637. Although there was still a smile on Hot Spring's face, a look of disdain secretly appeared in his heart. So what if you're furious? Now even if the anger stagnates, it can only be dissipated separately. All is silent. You are the head of the 1st Black Iron Legion, Kuang Lion, right? Fang Fan stepped forward suddenly, and looked at the middle-aged man in red armor with burning eyes. Yes, Fang Fan, supervisor, what advice is there? The head of the 308 Bronze Legion's 1st Legion, Kuang Lion, held his head high, naturally proud. Advice is not necessary. But you violated the military law, you should be dealt with as a military law. As the inspector of the 308th Bronze Legion, I have the duty of supervision and supervision. Now I will deal with you by military law. Galen. Kill him. The corner of Fang Fan's mouth raised silently, and then he gave an order, and Galen's greatsword was already placed on the neck of this wild lion. You, what do you want to do? Are you crazy? Why do you deal with our military law? Master Hot Spring Legion Commander. Save me. Save me. 308. The face of the head of the 1st Legion of the Bronze Legion, Guangxi, changed drastically, and then he began to roar one after another. While shouting, his face became more and more ugly. The current situation has completely escaped his control. Inspector Fang Fan, please ask your guards to take back their swords. This is my military account. I am the commander of the 308th Bronze Legion. I hope you don't overstep it. Otherwise, I'm afraid you won't be able to get out of here today. Onsen narrowed his eyes, and now he no longer played the role of the smiling tiger, but was going to tear his face completely apart. Oh? Really? Head of the Hot Spring Legion, are you sure? In order to keep this mad lion, ruin your own future and destiny. If I die here, the Temple of the Alliance of Light will not stop. Archbishop Nangong Lei Hong I will definitely investigate thoroughly. Saint Dongguo will also intervene. Do you think that little secret of yours can withstand a thorough investigation by the breadth of life? The entire legion is fully staffed, but it has a semi-disabled name. I really don't know what the head of the Hot Spring Legion wants to do. When a full-stacked Bronze Legion of the Dark Camp launched a sneak attack, except for the 3rd Black Iron Legion, the commander of the Mozang army, all the remaining legions did not even put on their combat readiness. Can I be sure? Why did the head of the Hot Spring Legion negotiate with the Bronze Legion of the Dark Camp? Is he going to hand over the army and land of my Light Alliance temple? Furthermore, do you think a 4-star Sanctuary Realm cultivator can beat me? I forgot to tell you, I once led a team to kill a 4-star Sanctuary level red-robed Dark Angel in the Dark Camp. Fang Fan's cold eyes scanned the surroundings, and the attitude he should have naturally showed. This time, he came here to kill people. Kill. With Fang Fan's order, Galen's long sword began to charge from the air, and then slashed down viciously. Don't. You lunatic. You must die. Head of the Hot Spring Army, save me, I have always followed your orders. Legion Commander, save. Click. There was a sound of bone cracking, and a red-haired head fell to the ground. The head of the 308th Bronze Legion's 1st Legion, Guangxi, was directly killed. There were gasps of air coming from the military tent, and the original noisy scene disappeared, replaced by silence, a long-lasting silence. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1638. The head of the wild lion fell to the ground, which already symbolized something. This is a demonstration. It is a tough attitude. Who doesn't know that Wild Lion is the confidant of Spot, the head of the 308 Bronze Legion? Now that Fang Fan killed him without hesitation, he had completely expressed his attitude. You lunatic. Do you know what you're doing? The head of the Wild Lion Black Iron Legion is the veteran and pillar of the 308th Bronze Legion. You have violated the rules of the temple by doing this. Aren't you afraid of punishment from the temple? You abuse lynching like this, the temple will never allow it. Among the crowd, Xinan, the inspector of the 1st Black Iron Legion of the 308 Bronze Legion, roared, and then stood up with great strides. While talking, the vicious look on his face became more and more malicious, his thoughts gradually emptied, and his complexion became more and more vicious. So, what's your opinion? Or are you also involved in the matter of resisting orders? Fang Fan squinted his eyes, and then walked up to Xinan, silently waving the 4-star holy sword in front of him. I don't know anything. 308 Xinan, the inspector of the 1st Black Iron Legion of the Bronze Legion, stared at the holy sword flying in front of him, his body trembled unnaturally, and then he took a few steps back, with a look of horror on his face. Is it? Then you are questioning my decision by saying this. Please remember your identity, you are the Black Iron Supervisor, and I am your superior. Fang Fan snorted coldly, his gaze gradually became sharp and glaring. Xian's face was as dark as water, and he wanted to continue clamoring for something, but under Fang Fan's gaze, he could only bite the bullet and back away. The bloody head of the wild lion is still on the ground, the guy in front of him is a demon. It is a frightening demon. It's the kind that raises a butcher's knife at every turn. Xianan must not become the next soul to die under the sword. Head of the Hot Spring Legion. Xianan, the inspector of the 1st Black Iron Legion of the 308 Bronze Legion, took a deep breath, and couldn't help but glance at Hot Spring, the head of the 308 Bronze Legion. Now only this person can come out and preside over the overall situation, because if there is a little carelessness, the situation will completely collapse. At this moment, the head of the 308 Bronze Legion, Hot Spring, had bloodshot eyes and stared at Fang Fan gloomily. At this moment, he really wanted to kill Fang Fan directly to repay the resentment in his heart. But since he didn't organize Fang Fan to kill the wild lion just now, it shows that he is afraid. To put it bluntly, he still dare not let go completely. What Fang Fan said just now made him panic. What Archbishop Nangong lay in red, what Dongguo Saint. Furthermore, Fang Fan said that he once killed the 4-star sanctuary level red-robed dark god envoy of the Dark Temple. If these are all true, then his 4-star sanctuary realm cultivation base doesn't seem to have much deterrent effect. Fang Fan was able to lead people to destroy the Bronze Legion of the Dark Camp, so naturally he was able to destroy the 308 Bronze Legion. Between reason and madness, Hot Spring chose the former. The wild lion is lawless, damn it. Wenquin, the head of the 308 Bronze Legion, took a deep breath, then gritted his teeth and said, at this moment, such thoughts are completely boiling in his mind. In the end, he chose to give in. Everyone in the entire central military tent was startled. At the same time, they looked at each other and took a step back. The sense of horror is increasing. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1639. The head of the Hot Spring Bronze Legion can only choose to give in, so what about them? Naturally, they can only inexplicably choose to bear. The Kuang Lion, the head of the First Black Iron Legion, has been killed for disobeying orders, and the position of the head of the First Black Iron Legion has been vacated. I think this Galen warrior under my command is witty and courageous. Duran. Besides, Mozang, the commander of the Third Black Iron Legion, has been able to support you well this time, and he has made outstanding achievements in battle. From now on, follow me to station in the eastern part of Xingyu Road. In addition to the First Black Iron Legion, if there are 2 more Black Iron Legions stationed in the eastern part of Xingyu Island, the safety factor will definitely be greatly improved. What does the commander of the Hot Spring Army mean? Fang Fan sneered, he was already directly forcing the palace. What they want in one breath is 2 Black Iron level legions, 200,000 horses. The Third Black Iron Legion is Fang Fan's established plan. It is certain that the head of the Third Black Iron Legion has completely fallen out with this Hot Spring in order to help him this time. Fang Fan has the responsibility to maintain and protect him. Win over to his subordinates. As for the First Black Iron Legion, and was a complete surprise. Fang Fan also knew the principle of boiling frogs in warm water. It would be unrealistic to kill all these people in front of him with one blow, and the temple would never allow it. But if 2 Black Iron Legions are to come, it shouldn't be a big problem. The First Black Iron Legion can give you. But the Third Black Iron Legion can't. The head of the Mozang Black Iron Army is a capable general in our army, and I still need to support him well. Wenquin, the head of the 308 Bronze Legion, let out a dark drink, his eyes flickering brightly. To put it bluntly, this guy just wanted to attack Mozang and vent some of his anger. If Mozang and his Third Black Iron Legion were really left behind, it might not be long before Fang Fan could only see Mozang's dead body. Impossible. I will take away the First and Third Black Iron Legion. Fang Fan sneered, when it's time to be tough, he must not be cowardly. Fang Fan's supervisor. I advise you to think about it carefully. Is it worth it to offend me completely for the sake of a Mozang who has just joined the position? I can take a step back, you can take the Third Black Iron Legion away, I won't interfere, but Mozang has to stay for me. Wenquin, the head of the 308 Bronze Legion, took a deep breath. This guy is determined to kill Mo Sang. I said, no. Do you want me to say it a second time? Fang Fan squinted his eyes, and rays of light flickered in them. This is already an ultimatum. Fang Fan Supervisor. Don't forget, I am the commander of the 308th Bronze Legion. I have the right to make military arrangements. Wenquin, the head of the 308 Bronze Legion, gritted his teeth, obviously unwilling to let go. Is it? How about reporting this matter to the temple and letting the temple send other priests to deal with it? I really want to see if the things that the Hot Spring Army leader did can continue to be concealed. You have two choices now, either let me take away the 1st, 3rd Black Iron Legion and Mozang, or apply to the temple for mediation. Of course, you can also choose to fight against me. As for who will win in the end, that's unknown. But if you really do it, maybe the only way left is to run away from the Dark Camp. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1640. As Fang Fan spoke, his eyes became sharper and sharper. Now is the real competition. The audience was completely silent, everyone's heads were lowered, unwilling to be the next to suffer. The head of the 308th Bronze Legion confronted the supervisory envoy. If they could not get involved, they would choose to retreat as much as possible. After all, relatively speaking, they can't afford to get involved in these things, and if they are a little careless, they will feel cold. 308 Bronze Legion Commander Hot Spring's eyes became more and more bloodshot, and the corners of his mouth twitched more and more. A fool could see the crazy fluctuations in his heart at the moment. Unwilling. Anger. Regardless of costs. Even all kinds of emotions boiled in my mind, and finally turned into deep sighs. Everything is over. Whatever the inspector says, that's what it is. As for reporting to the temple, it hasn't reached that point yet. It's completely unnecessary, don't alarm the higher authorities. Maybe the head of the Mozang Black Iron Army can play a stronger role under Fang Fan's supervisor. 308 Bronze Legion Commander Wenquin took a deep breath, and then swallowed it deeply. There are only zero and countless times of concessions and confessions. At this moment, Hot Spring, the head of the 308 Bronze Legion, is still caught in this vicious circle. I knew that the head of the Hot Spring Army would make the right choice. It would be best if it could be resolved peacefully. Why bother mobilizing people to alarm the top of the temple? The corner of Fang Fan's mouth raised slightly, and then he said with a chuckle. Yes, that's the truth. Hot Spring nodded, gritted his teeth and said, now he can only choose to compromise. On the whole, this is the only choice at present. Galen, take the 1st Black Iron Legion, the leader of the Mozang Black Iron Legion, bring the 3rd Black Iron Legion, and follow me back to the east of Xingyu Island to garrison. Fang Fan waved his hand, and then strode out of the military tent. Hot Spring forcibly pulled out some smiles, watching Fang Fan and the others stay away without being moved. As soon as Fang Fan walked out of the military tent, there were crazy roars from the central military tent. Bastard! Trash! Trash! It's all trash! Why don't you go die? Get out! Get out of here! From now on, without my order, anyone who dares to act rashly will be dealt with directly by military law. Accompanied by the roars of Hestia in the central military tent, Fang Fan gradually walked away. Master Inspector, this time, thank you this time, if it weren't for you, I might not escape death this time. The head of the 3rd Black Iron Legion, Mo Sang, breathed a sigh of relief, with a grateful expression on his face. He's not stupid either, he saw clearly what the situation was like just now, and he also understood Fang Fan's role in it. If Fang Fan hadn't insisted on taking him with him, I'm afraid he would have fallen into the 308th Bronze Legion by now in the hands of Legion Commander Hot Spring. And he has done so many things this time. Once he falls into the hands of the Hot Spring, I am afraid that it would be an extravagant hope to ask for a good death. You're welcome, this is what I should do. I promised you, follow me, and I will give you the honor of being a soldier. Even if the soldier is still dead, he must die on the battlefield. It's absolutely impossible to be framed by villains. From now on, you will be my right-hand man. I believe in you. Fang Fan patted Mo Sang on the shoulder and said earnestly. From Fang Fan's point of view, he felt that Mo Sang was a real general and sergeant. He has the most traditional sergeant honor and character.